Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be reacting to some more Nostalgia Critic, and it's going to be top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments. Oh boy, he's going there. Yeah, he's actually going to be making a video of the top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments. That's suicide. That's not a wise idea to do on YouTube. Lord of the Rings is a very great movie. The whole entire Lord of the Rings franchise is absolutely amazing. Even the video games are amazing. So the fact that he's going after pointing out the dumbest moments in the movie, whew, that's gonna spark some heat. That's gonna spark some debate. You know, a lot of people are gonna be triggered. But yeah, I actually thought the movies were good. I enjoyed all the Lord of the Rings movies. So I don't understand exactly what he's pointing out to. I mean, top 11 dumbest moments in Lord of the Rings. I thought all of them were good. I thought the movies were good. All the scenes were good. So he's got to explain himself pretty fucking good in order to salvage himself from the heat and the wrath of pitchforks and flames from the mob about to string him up for criticizing this movie. I mean, the video is 32 minutes long. That explains that itself. I mean, when a video is 32 minutes long for a top 11 dumbest moments, you know he's gonna be explaining himself a lot. Probably repeating himself, explaining why he decides that this is a dumb moment. He's got to explain himself pretty damn good because, like I keep saying, this is suicide. If you're gonna make a YouTube video saying top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments, it's gotta be fucking good. Yeah, let's play the video, shall we? Let's go. Let's see what he has to say. I don't know. I'll probably disagree with him. Because I thought the movie was good. Oh boy. I can't stop imagining all the people triggered about this video.
Hello, I'm a nostalgia.
Oh boy.
I remembered, so you don't have to. Knock, knock, who's there? Lord of the Rings is awesome! After winning critical praise, box office praise, tons of awards, changing the way many blockbusters are made, and being
totally
one of the
awesome movie.
best-known film trilogies of all time, who the hell is gonna argue with that?
You?
Lord of the Rings went from being the story that could never be filmed to the best-known film fantasy of all time. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have some dumbass moments. I mean, with 558 minutes of film, of course there's gonna be problems here and there. And when you have a film series that needs to bring in a big crowd, you need to take big risks.
Okay.
Some of them pay off, some not so much. And hey, it's still good to look over the weaker aspects of a film because truly no film is without flaws. And it's fun to review the mistakes and creative choices that maybe in the future could be tinkered with more. Especially seeing how technically these films are still being made.
Maybe
And
he's
while on
talking about the
subject, I'm not gonna put the
outtakes.
Hobbit films in there, seeing how they're still in the process of being put out. And I'm also not going to draw too many differences from the books. It's an adaptation, things have to be changed, I get that. I'm only judging these goofy choices in the realm of the films themselves.
Okay.
So, let's look over one of cinema's greatest accomplishments by acknowledging its top 11 greatest downfalls. Why top 11?
Stupid fact, Hobbit.
This is the top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings movies.
He's gonna get a lot of shit for this. I got a feeling. Top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments. You dare criticize the Lord of the Rings. Maybe it's the outtakes he's talking about. Number 11.
Just letting Gandalf die. Yeah, kinda shocked nobody ever talks about this one. In the book, as well as in the animated movie, when Gandalf is facing the Balrog uses the whip to drag him down with
You
him,
shall
causing Gandalf to
not
shout, "Fly,
pass."
you fools!" as he plunges to his death. Fly, you fools! But in Fellowship, he hangs onto the cliff, most likely trying to make the line more dramatic.
Well, it's a hero's death,
But the
so...
question is, if he's hanging onto the cliff, why is everyone just looking at him? Nobody thinks to run over and actually pull him up. Go! Save him!
He's
right
sacrificing
there. You took the
himself
time, you little
in
idiots.
order for them
No,
to
I take it
continue
back.
the mission, the
Frodo
quest.
Does. It's one of the few times he actually
what heroes
tries
do.
to take action. But what do? They hold him back. Why? There's no reason to. I suppose if you wanted to go out on a stretch, you could make the assumption that maybe the orcs are firing at them.
Yeah.
But hell, if you're just going to stand there and look at him anyway, the very least you could do is be a moving target by walking forward and picking him up. But, Boromir is lucky.
I can understand, yeah, but
Bullshit,
I think it's a hero's
Never
death.
coming back.
I haven't even left yet.
We must move on without him.
I can hear every word you're saying.
Remember, he told us to fly.
Yes, fly forward and grab me, please.
He will live forever.
I think
in
it's
our hearts.
heroic.
Try to live the real way.
Our friend is gone.
Oh, fuck this noise.
It's about allowing them to continue the mission.
It still makes no sense whatsoever. The only justification I can have for this is that, well, it did give us a cool intro to Two Towers.
Yeah, and he came back anyway, so...
I mean, come on, that opening was awesome. Even if they did land in a giant lake and somehow ended up on top of
yeah,
it.
that
In fact,
was
I would
confusing.
be concerned for him if he could survive a fall into a lake and yet still have the strength to walk up to the top of a mountain. I nitpicked this enough.
The Skyrim. It's all Skyrim. It's Bethesda sort of style, who knows. Number 10.
Number 10.
I can understand his reasoning, but I think it's a hero's death, so... And he came back anyway.
Those bajillion endings.
Those
Yeah,
bajillion
you all knew
endings.
this was coming. On the one hand, you can't blame these people for having an ending that goes on forever. I mean, it's wrapping up 3 very big, very long movies. Lots of
I
characters
like the
and
multiple.
stories need
I like
closure.
the endings.
But that's not what I necessarily take issue with. What I take issue with is the fake outs. Every other second it looks like the credits are about to roll. Instead, they keep the plots coming. At first it looks like it's going to end with Sam and Frodo together on the volcano, but then it keeps going. Then it looks like it's going to end with them reuniting, but then it keeps going. Then it looks like it's going to end with them in Minas Tirith, but then it keeps going! And there's still 5 more endings on top of it! There's so many goddamn fade-outs in this film, you could confuse it for the ending of Clue.
Here at the end of all things.
I can understand that, yeah, for someone who doesn't like multiple endings, well, in that sort of sense, but I kind of liked it. I didn't mind the lots of endings. It was fine for me. It was actually quite interesting because we get to see multiple
How do you pick up
scenarios.
It doesn't help either that ending 1.2 looks a whole lot like a curtain call. Ladies and gentlemen, your Lord of the Rings players! Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan!
Imagine a scene like a goofball moment of this, where it's like, where it does a strange voice when he talks, when his eyes wonky.
Big scary eyes is Frodo.
See that YouTube version.
Ian McKellen as the always enduring, always heartwarming Gandalf. Ah, that is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Please don't show that again. Ah!
It's like a parody of this scene. It's great. I love it.
Stop that.
Then it's doing a weird, awkward
Now,
laugh.
for a lot of people, these several endings are a big complaint, but I'd put it pretty low on the list because, honestly, I actually do like the endings. I mean, yeah, there's
I
too many.
like
and they
the
freak you
endings,
out too
and there's
many
multiple,
times,
but
the
I like
actual
them.
endings themselves are very poignant and kind of touching. So on the whole, I can't be that angry at them. Maybe just a little angry. And a little terrified.
That's how I laugh when I eat my Cheerios. Number 9. I can understand too many endings can be a problem for people, but I liked it. Not a problem for me. Number 9.
Gimli's idiot moments. So again,
I
when
thought
making
they were
an
funny.
adaptation as big as Lord of the Rings, you can't go into quite as much detail as the books can. So a good chunk of the time, characters have to be simplified. Understandable enough. But good God, what did you do to Gimli?
Ah, yes, the dwarves that go swimming with little hairy women. Ah.
At first, he started off okay. He was simple and emotional, but still had a sense of honor and dignity.
Let them come. There is one dwarf yet in Moria who still draws breath.
But as the movies went on, he just got goofier.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? But you know what? That's
And
alright.
What do trees have to talk about except the consistency of squirrel droppings?
And goofier. He went from being his own unique flavor of badass to just silly comic relief.
You could have picked a better spot.
I kind of like it.
Even he seemed to realize that his whole race merely existed to get a chuckle out of the real heroes.
It's true you don't see many dwarf women. And in fact, they're often mistaken for dwarf men. And this in turn has given rise to the belief that there are no dwarf women, and that dwarfs just spring out of holes in the ground.
Don't believe me? Just watch this scene and tell me if the punchline music doesn't write itself. It's ironic that we would have to wait for
It's
a prequel to
I can
actually
understand,
get a dignified
but
dwarf
still,
character.
I liked
But
it.
until that time,
I liked
we
his
only
character.
had Gimli as the dignified representation of the dwarf.
Salted pork.
Thank God he had his badass moments in there too, because
Yeah.
if not, I think this would be Middle-earth's interpretation.
He did have
of
his goofy
dwarf
moments, but
blackface.
It's a little tight across the chest.
I think he releases the tension in the movie for me, because sometimes you take the movie too serious and he releases the tension, so it's good. Number 8.
Legolas's perfect moments. If one character can be too flawed, then another can be too perfect. Again, Legolas started out as a very precise, somewhat advanced hero in the first movie. But as the films went on, you started to wonder why he couldn't just fight this war himself. Look
Yeah,
at the son of
a
bitch.
one-man
While
army.
everyone's doing their best
Yeah.
to fight off soldiers on ground. Here, Aragorn's like, hey Legolas, would you mind bringing down a 5-story elephant? Come
Yeah.
on, you can do that in your pointy-eared sleeve. But the bizarre thing is, he can! Without even batting an eye! Is there even a bead of sweat
Well,
on his forehead?
He's probably got acrobatics. He's probably skilled. He's an elf, so he's a badass.
Why is it there was even still a struggle at Helm's Deep? At first it looks like all the humans are gonna have to fight, but then, look, they suddenly get an army of giant dinosaur elephant killers. This battle should be over in 10 minutes. Look at the scene from earlier. Their fighting skills seem too good to be true. Haha, we knew they would come at us in descending order from left to right, resulting in this cool-ass shot. Everything is coming up hell. But even with all these badasses on their side at Helm's Deep, even then Legolas has to show off by going shield surfing. I'm sure that was essential. to
Come on,
taking
it's
out those
epic.
5 guys you could have just as easily killed walking down the stairs.
It's great for video games as well.
Wow, oh my god, that was awesome.
The Lord of the Rings video games are amazing.
I'm surprised Legolas didn't just end this whole war in one foul swoop. He's so freaking perfect, I'm sure he could do it.
Legolas, a great evil is spawning in Mordor.
Fear not, my flawed mortal friend. I shall handle this. Like a motherfucking truck.
A lot of other people say, why didn't he just get the
Legolas
fly
is
on
too
a
good to be true. And that
fly on
is
the
precisely
bird
the
and just drop it into the volcano, Mount Doom, the ring. Instead of just walking all the way.
Counts as one.
Number 7.
Those close-up shots.
Close-up
I've mentioned
shots.
this before, how a lot of movies and shows back then felt they needed to get a lot of wide-angle close-up shots. This would be fine if the idea was to create an uncomfortable scenario, but for a while, it seems like a lot of directors did it just to be different and artsy. And here, it's no exception. While this decision did tone down big time in the other 2 movies, and thank God for that, we had to put up with quite a lot of it in Fellowship of the Ring. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's called for, like this scene where Frodo's about to put the ring on at the Prancing Pony, which, by the way, might not be the best name for a place like this. I look at the atmosphere and I feel more the decaying mule. But like I said,
Yeah.
here it's supposed to be a little off and uncomfortable, so the close-ups work. But come on, when Bilbo is just talking normally, do we really need to be this close? Even when Gandalf is saying goodbye, look at that! You can count the wrinkles under his eyeballs!
I can
Don't you
understand
like it
too
if
many
I film
close-ups,
conversations
yeah.
like this?
Hey Malcolm,
Oh,
did you hear
Jesus.
they might be getting a new judge for American Idol?
Yeah, I heard they might be getting a new host too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can
really?
understand
Mean they're
too many
getting rid of-
close-ups
what's his
can
name?
put you
Yeah,
off,
what is that
so.
guy's name again?
But I don't mind it,
Is it
honestly.
Seacrest? Is he safe?
I know we're we're supposed to feel close to the characters, but
It's
good
supposed
God,
to
we don't
give
need to
tension.
be this close.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
I can understand his reasoning, but like I said, it's not really a
Number
problem
6.
for me. Number 6. Number of the beast.
Denethor. Just Denethor. If there's any character I think was more over-the-top simplified in these movies, it's this one. And I know a lot of
Okay.
you may disagree, but I got some serious issues with this guy.
Alright.
Everyone describes him as a Shakespearean villain, being very complex and very sympathetic. Well, I'm glad you guys saw that, but for me, I just saw a crazy asshole. The whole time he
Sometimes
seems to
you need
have
a
just
crazy
two
asshole.
settings, extreme jerk or extreme nutball. Yeah, when he's not frowning or slobbering or shaking his head screaming, that leaves very little room to actually feel sorry for him. Which I'm told is the intention they were going for.
You will not take my son from me! The line has ended! Condor is mine! Abandon your post! Leave me alive!
It looks like
I
there was
thought he
supposed
was
to be a real
pretty
tragic
alright.
element to him. Like, he used to be a dignified steward and has gone mad with power. But there's just so little dignity you can see in this guy. And I know the idea is that he's supposed to have lost all his honor, but you're supposed to give some idea that there was some honor there to begin with. And you don't really get that. The only time the guy actually had sympathy from me was when he found out about Boromir's death, and, oddly enough, when Pippin is offering his services.
Until my lord release me, or death.
And I shall not forget it, nor fail to reward that which is given.
He does actually seem thankful and somewhat
He does
kind in
look
this
something kind of loving,
I'm not
yes.
saying we need a ton of that, but we just need more
Gives
than
us
what
a
we
taste,
got.
a glimpse.
But no, we need obvious symbolism to show that the decision makers in their ivory towers don't understand the fragility of life.
Nah, I didn't really have a problem with it. And this music's pretty badass. War is bad. The war is good. If you want to make money. War is good for business. And then there is our other war is bad for business. Either way you win.
Come on, if I wanted slurping disgustingness, I'd go watch more of Gimli. Even his death seems over the top goofy. Just when they're about to give him something close to a remorseful moment, what do they do?
Yeah, I can understand not everyone's gonna like
This isn't Lord of the Rings,
the
it's
sort
a
of
fucking
character
Itchy and
plot on this
Scratchy
one.
cartoon. All I gotta say is, if you were looking to create a sorrowful Shakespearean villain, my guess is you need a little bit more dignity than this.
Ooh. Ooh.
We'll be back in a bit. Until then, let the emotional weight of this scene sink in.
Hey, I can see them filming Hobbit Part 12 right there.
Yeah, I didn't really have a problem with the character development of this part. I thought it was good. I thought it was alright. I didn't really see it as a problem, as a dumb moment.
Fat men can burn. Fat men can burn. Number 5.
Number 5, okay.
I'm not dead!
There's a saying that nobody ever really dies in TV. That there's always a way to bring a popular character back. Well, the same definitely can be said for Lord of the Rings movies. First they think Gandalf is dead.
That music.
Merry and Pippin are
Great
dead.
music.
Then they think Aragorn is dead. Then they think Frodo is dead. Good God, I thought the ending had too many fake outs. This is like a new world record. Hell, they probably cut this Mouth of Sauron scene from Return of the King because it was twice that they did a Frodo death fake out.
I have a token I was bidden to show thee. Know that he suffered greatly at the hands of his home.
I watched this video where it's like, ooh la la, you touch my ding dang dong. I've seen that video, it was hilarious.
Pulling us down. Honestly, we just want you to open your gates for us.
Ooh la la, you touch my ding dang dong. I watched that YouTube video, it's hilarious.
That still only counts as one.
In fact, I think the only reason Boromir never came back is because Sean Bean has it in his contract.
Sean
that
Bean
he has to
always
die
dies in
role
every
that
single
he's
movie.
and
Yeah.
stay dead. But everyone else?
Every
Eh,
movie
death
Sean
just
Bean
a
is in,
roadblock
he's
to pass.
always dead.
It's like they build up that no matter what,
He
these
always dies
characters
in
are
every
fucking
single movie.
Invincible. Look at this. How many times do they throw themselves into an army of killers and never even come out with a scratch on them? The funniest is probably this one with Aragorn and Gimli. That is fucking ridiculous. This long line of killer monsters all being taken down by 2 men. One of them half the size of the rest of them. Even in the final climax,
well,
they know they have nothing to
The
fear.
orcs are wearing
Where the
heavy
hell
armor, so they ain't got great balance.
Small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
I mean,
We've done this a million
they're wearing
times.
armor,
Even if we
so
die, we're bound to bounce right back. Hell, we have an entire
you know, when you're wearing
army of dead people.
hundreds
It's
of
like
tons
having
of
a
armor,
cold. You ought to come
you're
in
gonna be
before
wobbly,
midnight
you're
and
gonna
come back
fall off
swinging.
the edge.
Nothing like walking through the valley of the shadow of death when that valley is just the size of a thimble. That is fucking ridiculous.
I still liked it. It's plausible. Number 4.
Arwen's life is now tied to the fate of the ring.
Eh? Now, there's no doubt that Arwen's role has been expanded in the movies, and to be honest, I really don't mind. It's a bit of a sausage fest in here anyway, and hell, even the woman who does join the fight has to pretend she has a sausage. So having her do more stuff, I think was a welcomed addition. But then we get this really weird nonsense.
Arwen is dying. The light of the even star is failing.
It makes sense. The world is being covered by darkness. Evil is prevailing
How the hell
throughout
did
the
that
world.
happen? We get something about the light of brouhaha that's now somehow tied to Sauron growing because I have no clue. It was made up for the movie, I guess, as
I guess
a
the
means
evil's
to
purging
give
out the light.
Aragorn something else to fight for, or maybe keep her more out of the way so that their being reunited would mean more? I'm not sure what the intention was, but brother, does it make no sense. What is that light thing she gave up? If it makes her mortal, then how come none of the other mortal people in Middle-earth are dying? In fact, if it does make her mortal, then how come they were talking about how much it's gonna suck when she stays immortal in that other scene? In fact, hell, they made immortality look like such a bitch, she'd probably be welcoming death by this point. In most cases like this, you could say that it's explained in the book, but this was a new scene, and talked in very little detail about it. The more I think about it, maybe it would have been cooler if they wrote it that she went to fight with the rest of the army. She was originally filmed in the Helm's Deep battle until they edited her out.
Damn.
Wouldn't it be nice to give her a little bit more battle damage than a branch from a tree? Ooh, look at that scar. It shows she's tough and pushes on after battling prickly
A twig.
leaves.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah, I don't
expand
know,
the
but
character,
still.
at least do it in a way that makes sense. Until then, look pretty.
Maybe they
cry,
could have done a
and
little bit more
don't
to
go the
explain.
ends.
Arwen's life is now tied to the
They could have explained it a little bit more
Eh?
better. Maybe it's more in the book or the lore. But still. I found it alright. I didn't mind it.
Number
3.
Sam and Frodo's gayness.
What?
Now let me make one thing perfectly
They're not
clear
gay.
before anyone has a heart attack. If Sam and Frodo were actually gay in the story, I wouldn't care. Hell, it'd be cool. Maybe they'd be the first gay characters in fantasy. Openly gay anyway. But that's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that the intention was not to show the power of love, it was meant to show the power of friendship. Having a friendship and being in love are two different things. There's the love you share for a person you have an attraction for and want to live the rest of your life with, but there's also the love for a determined person who will always have your back and be by your side. And the reason that bugs me is that this relationship, while I do believe unintentionally makes them look more romantic than friendly, is that it's obvious Tolkien wanted to show the strength of friendship. For reasons of
I didn't think
nobility and
there was
caring
gay
rather than
moments.
lust
So
or romance.
I
Lust and
felt it was
romance is
fine.
and we see it everywhere in big epic stories. But that's not what this is about. This is about two people who care for each other as the closest of
They did the
companions.
same with
And
Merlin.
truth be told, there's only
The
a
Merlin,
few
the TV
popular
series.
stories I can think of that
A lot of
really
people
dive
thought
into that.
King
You
Arthur
often
and
see
Merlin
two
were gay
people of the same gender who give up
in
their
that TV
life for the
series,
other
but they're not.
just for the
It's just
reason of friendship.
friendship,
If it's
sort
opposite
of.
genders, fuck it, almost always hook up by the end of the story. So that's why I think it's more important that a friendship element was played up more than a romantic one. And again, I don't think it was intentional, but it's still hard to ignore that it comes off that way. And
Nah,
so
I
much
don't
of
think
that
it's
comes
a
from
sort
just
of
how
gay love
friggin'
moment. I
lame
think it
these
is just
rhymes are.
friendship,
Let's
honestly.
just look at some of these scenes again.
Frodo was really courageous, wasn't he, Dad? Yes, my boy. The most famousest of hobbits. And that's saying a lot.
You've left out one of the chief characters. Samwise the Brave. I want to hear more about Sam.
Frodo wouldn't have got far without Sam.
Now, Mr. Frodo, you shouldn't make fun. I was being serious.
So was I.
I'm just waiting for
See
Gollum
that-
to roll his eyes and say, "Oh Christ, just propose already."
I didn't see that
Friendship
gay,
slash
honestly.
romance doesn't always make sense. Frodo sends Sam
I didn't
away
see
because
that,
I think he ate
like,
the
they're
last
in
of
love.
Landis bread. Fair enough, he's
It's
possessed
just
by the
friendship.
rings and being manipulated by Gollum. But Sam actually starts to oblige until he makes this little discovery. What exactly is he supposed to realize there? So I didn't eat it. Wouldn't his return have been
It's
a
a
lot more
reminder.
powerful if they didn't show this scene? If Sam just said, "Fuck it, he's my friend, I'm gonna go and fight for him anyway," that would have been a lot more noble. But no, he had to realize that he didn't eat the bread that he
I didn't think it was a
realized
reminder.
already
I think it
didn't
was more of a
eat.
reminder about
Huh?
his duty
Like
to
I
his
said, I
friend.
don't think it was
That he's in
intentional, but
danger.
The more cheesy these scenes are played out,
That
the
he
more
needs
you
him.
can't help but think of a corny romantic novel. So you can't act surprised at the comparisons.
I can
And
understand
think we
why
all know
people
there's
think.
plenty of those.
No, but
Granted, at the end, the relationship does work. Sam gets married.
I think it's
Frodo
just
goes
a
on his
friendship.
own
I don't
path,
think
and
it's a
they do
gay
share connection.
relationship.
You legitimately
No,
believe
it's
it.
not.
Just maybe you believe in it a little more than what was intended.
I can't carry it for you. But I can.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing the audio has been taken out here due to copyright. Yep. He was playing some music there, so obviously the music was copyrighted and taken out. Number 2. Sorry about that, it's copyrighted. Nostalgia Critic had to remove that.
Who?
Sarah who?
There is no doubt that the biggest fuck you to a character came when
Saruman.
Saruman, the only human villain you had throughout any of these movies, was completely left out of Return of the King. What the hell? He doesn't even make an appearance, a wave goodbye, or anything. He just doesn't show up.
He's finished,
This is the
I
guy
guess.
that was the center of the poster in
Yeah.
the last film. Your
Hey, that's a
major
good
villain,
point.
second to only that giant eye thingy. And he doesn't even get a little wave goodbye? What a ripoff. Now, in one sense, you could make the argument that Sauron is really the villain, so you don't need to spend a ton of time with Saruman anyway. But there's two big problems with this. One, the excuse that they give is not to go after it.
Well,
That
didn't
he's
in
too
one scene
harmless
they
now to
killed
do
him
any
off?
real
I
damage.
believe they killed him off in one
What?
scene.
Well, let's just have his head and be on with it.
I think he falls like from a block and falls on a spike or something like that.
He has no power anymore. The filth of Saruman is washing away.
Yeah, there was like 2 versions. One where he
He's
survives and
learned
one where they
his
kill him
lesson.
off. I
mean,
can't
come on,
remember, but I'm
what
pretty
are
sure
the
there was like 2
chances of an
versions.
ancient evil that we don't kill all the way, possibly coming back and biting us in the eye. That doesn't count, he's an eye. And second, they had a perfectly good scene of him shot and edited already. Yeah, if you go to the extended edition, it's right there, right at the very beginning. It ties up all loose ends. The connection between him and Grimer, a final send-off between him and Gandalf, and yes, they don't just ignore the big evil genius who could obviously cause trouble later. He's killed off. And in a pretty cool way, I might add.
Yeah, this is the scene I was talking about. Yeah, this is the scene I saw.
I'm
They
sure
killed him
he can
off.
survive that, maybe.
Ooh!
I guess the scene was cut for time, which
Damn.
normally I would understand for a film this long. You don't want to overstay your welcome. But it's the second scene in the movie! Nobody's gonna be bored by the first few minutes! Really? Do you think anyone was gonna watch
I'm
this
guessing
and
it
be
was
like,
just time.
"Oh, this first 2 minutes isn't grabbing me. I'm sure the next 3 hours will be more eventful." God, if it's a time issue, why didn't you shorten one of the other cajillion endings that you had? That's where people started to bitch and moan. They didn't need to know every single detail that went on after the war was over. But we did need to know what happened to one of your biggest villains in the entire film series. Of course, we always want to see the bad guy get the short end of the stick in the end. But next time, try letting us actually see it. Because that short end of the stick can impale pretty nicely.
Ooh. Ooh,
Hey
painful.
Gandalf, do you still have that 2-for-1 coupon that could get you an extra life at the pearly gates? Sorry, already used it. No crud.
Yeah, I can agree. It was really
And the
cut
number
short. It
one
could have
dumbest Lord of the
explained
Rings
itself a little
moment
bit
is
better. Number 1. Okay, let's see what it's about.
those eagles that could have stopped everything.
Yeah, couldn't they
Everyone
gone
in
an
the world
eagle
brings
and
it
just
up,
drop
of
the
course,
ring
so am I.
into the
Why
mountain?
don't these creatures of awesomeness just fly over Mount Doom and drop the ring off themselves?
Yeah, I've always
It's
thought
obvious
that.
if they wanted to win this war quickly and more logically, they would have used these damn things from the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I was
Every
thinking.
excuse that people throw out in terms of the movie never holds water.
Maybe it's the eye.
Oh, well,
Maybe
they're
the
evil
eye
gods who
can
don't
kill
want
him.
to get involved in our world affairs. Well, that doesn't stop them from interfering 1, 2, and now 3 times in all of this. Well, they wouldn't be able to get very far. The evils of Mordor are just too great. Oh, I don't know. They made it to the gate. They seem to be fighting off those ring wraith things pretty good.
That's at the
And
gate,
they
not-
didn't. You could have
not
Gandalf nightlight reflect
inside
them
the gate.
off like he did before. He doesn't seem like Mordor has very many of those evil flying things. Well, much like
Yeah,
Gandalf, they
very
would
is
have been
debatable.
tempted to use it themselves and become evil in the process. For what? A 2-hour flight? If Frodo can resist for days on end, I think all the wise spirit gods can hold out as well. And shit, how the hell are they gonna put that ring on their claw anyway? Well, they stick out too much. A sneak attack makes much more sense in the grand scheme of things. Really? Because how many times do Sam and Frodo get spotted, captured, and injured? For every day
True.
it takes them to walk on foot, thousands of lives are probably being lost. Let's face it, people, it's only by pure fucking luck that this plan worked at all. Even Gandalf, several times in the movie, acknowledges this was probably the dumbest strategy they've ever come up with.
Oh,
It's
why
a
the hell
desperate
did I do
hope.
this?
I
I should
mean-
have used the eagles.
I think all of us know how the ending of this film really should have gone down. Let's go back to that scenario we demonstrated before.
I have a token. I was
Legolas.
The dwarves say Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
The end. Yeah, that's how it should have ended. How Lord of the Rings should
Even
have
the
ended.
series How It Should Have Ended gave their take
I
on
remember
this.
watching
Well,
this,
that was
yeah.
incredibly easy.
Yes, it was.
Can you imagine what it would be like if we had walked the entire way? Don't be
Oh
silly.
my god.
I remember watching
Make up
that,
whatever
that
excuse you
cartoon.
want. You can say that
YouTube
some way or
parody.
another this was the right thing to do, but for me, this is by far the dumbest Lord of the Rings.
I don't know, it's debatable. But you know what? I like
Now
it.
let's count down the most awesome Lord of the Rings moments.
Okay.
Oh wait, we can't, because there's too fucking many!
Yeah.
Despite these problems,
Too many
and I'm
awesome
sure
moments.
even more that exist, it doesn't change the fact that Lord of the Rings is one of the best film trilogies of all time.
Absolutely.
It gave so much, it changed so much, and as much as we like to poke fun of it, there's still just too much to like
It's
about it.
so good. And the
As for
games
me,
are
I'm
amazing
off
as
to
well.
partake in the ancient Middle-earth art of dwarf tipping. I'm the nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
Salted pork.
Oh boy. I kinda enjoyed that, to be honest. That was really good.
I shall handle this.
You missed.
Missed.
With little hairy women.
Oh boy. Okay, that's the end of the video. That was the top 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments. Yeah, what have I got to say about that is the hobbits are going to Isengard. I'm just kidding. I got that damn the hobbits are going to Isengard song stuck in my head. You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah, I mean, I can understand his point of view. It's quite interesting to see another perspective, and he is a critic after all, and he's supposed to criticize everything. So, you know what, he does bring up some good points. For example, why the camera is always close to the face. I guess, you know, that can be true for those who are curious why the camera is always being shoved in the face. But then again, it's really not noticeable. It's not really like the dumbest. I don't really think it's noticeable. You sort of just forget about it right after it. But I can understand how it can be a sort of irritant if it keeps happening over and over. Mostly, I think it's to bring a bit of fear and reality into the scene. You know, the sort of capture the person when it goes close up. To sort of, hey, this is serious. We better get serious right now. I don't know. But either the case, I didn't mind it. It was very unnoticeable. You know, it's not something you can start losing your marbles over. You know, so you know, I can understand his perspective, how it keeps popping up. And, the first one, why didn't, the eagle just, fly over the mountain and just drop the ring in? Yeah, a lot of people say that, I've been saying that as well. It really doesn't make sense, but then you gotta counter in, maybe the eye can disable the birds, maybe, I don't know, I have no explanation, but it's a good for debate. It's kind of interesting. I don't think they could make a movie if it was just an eagle going to the mountain of doom and just dropping a ring in. It wouldn't make a good movie, so I don't know. It is what it is. It's debatable. But still, the movie's good. I really enjoyed it. As for the Nostalgia Critic's reasoning for the 11 dumbest Lord of the Rings moments, I can understand some of them, and some of them, I just agree with a lot of what he said, and I agree with maybe the camera was too close to the face too many times, and that can take away the experience of the movie. But then some people might enjoy that, the atmosphere of that. So everyone's different. Everyone's got their nitpicks. Everyone's sort of got their knickknacks. But to be honest with you, I didn't really see these the dumbest moments. I didn't really see these a problem. And the relationship of Frodo, is it a gay relationship? I don't think so. It's a sort of like a manly friendship. They did the same thing with Merlin, the TV series, King Arthur and Merlin. For those who've watched that TV series, a lot of people say those two were gay because they keep sort of flirting with each other in a way. Well, not flirting, but, it's just, you think, oh my god, those two are definitely gay. But they're not. It's hard to explain. There is a sort of a manly friendship where you look at each other with love without being in love. It's a love friendship. It's not, oh hey, I wanna do you. Yeah, it's complicated. Men are complicated. Let's leave it at that. Yeah. So as for the reasonings, I can understand his reasonings, but like I said, it's not really the dumbest, not really stupid moments. I sort of disagree with most of what he said, and I can agree with most of what he said. But like I said, it's quite interesting to see through someone else's eyes. I'm just phrasing myself to be very careful because I'm going to get a lot of criticism myself. Charlie, how could you agree with a nostalgia critic? His opinion was absolutely dreadful. And I'm going to get a lot of shit for that. But either the case, I agree with some of what he said and I disagree with most of what he said. But yeah, I can see his reasoning through his eyes, but still. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.